Hey everybody, it's James here with the Sawyer Family Reviews channel. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, 2019, and this is the weekly comic book pickups video. Every week I pick up my boys at least one comic each, oftentimes it's more than one. I pick up my daughter Gracie one as well, even though she can't read yet. And I always pick up my comics at Queen City Comics in Fairfield, Ohio, zip code 45014. If you're in the area and into comics, go check out the shop. Now, in case it's the first time you're watching one of these, I just go right into these. I haven't read any of these books. These are just the books I picked up today. So you're seeing them kind of as I see them. Yeah, so let's jump right in. No True Believers again this week. I usually pick up all the True Believers that come in that Marvel does. They're $1 reprints of classic Marvel stories that are tied into something that's currently going on, like a comic relaunch or a movie. But there's still none. The last ones we got were, I believe, the Captain Marvel tie-ins, but we haven't had anything since then. So I'm thinking maybe there's going to be an Avengers run when Endgame comes around, but nothing right now. We start with a book for Gracie. It's Barbie issue 2 from Paper Cut Z. Second cool comic book by Sarah Kuhn and Aletha Martinez. Yeah, she liked the first one, previously in Barbie #1. I mean, this isn't Watchmen. It's not Dark Knight Returns. It's a fun book for my daughter. She likes Barbies, and she'll like looking at these pictures, and somebody will read it to her. It's got fun, clear art. So that's hers. And then also for her today, 2 books for Gracie today. DuckTales number 19. I think she has every issue of the series so far. Published by IDW and based on the current incarnation of the DuckTales cartoon. This one is by Steve Belling, Emilio Arbano, and Gianna Franco Floria. If you like the current DuckTales cartoon, you will like this comic book. It has the same flavor, the same kind of storytelling. It's good for kids. It's $3.99. Put that over there. This book is from my friend Matt. He has every issue of GoBot so far. He really likes this Tom Scioli, I think is how you say his name. He really likes his art. He actually teaches an art class, and he takes this book with him as examples of sequential art and, you know, an artist's own take and that kind of stuff. This is kind of nice because he's the writer, the artist, and the letterer of this book. And man, he goes to town in this book. I mean, there's pages that are just, look at all these panels. Even if you aren't a fan of his art style, you have to give appreciation to the fact that he pours so much into every page. We live in a day and age where some artists only fit like 2 or 3 panels on a page, and this guy is going to town. I really like his art. It has sort of a, I'm not saying it's the most detailed art in the world, but it has a very 80s vibe to it. Like a lot of the, you know, pack-in comics or something like that from toy lines when I was a kid. This reminds me of that. I believe this is the final issue of the series, so I'm not going to show you too much. We've got this big image of him on the back, and this book goes for $3.99. Put that over there. This book is for Keaton, Superior Spider-Man number 4 by Christos Gage. Mike Hawthorne is the penciler. Otto Octavius, known for many years as Dr. Octopus, blah, 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 blah. Basically, Otto Octavius was Spider-Man for a while, and now he's in a different body, but he has Spider-Man powers, and he's known as Superior Spider-Man, and he's in San Francisco. So that's what's going on. Anna Maria Marconi figured out that Elliot Tolliver, her Horizon University colleague, is the new identity of Otto Octavius, the same man who misled her when he lived as Peter Parker, poisoning a relationship and breaking a trust. But seeing Otto's willingness to risk his own life to stop Terrax, which has happened in the previous 3 issues, from leveling San Francisco with the power cosmic, Anna Maria agreed not to report Otto to the police. As Elliot recovered in Horizon's medical wing, Otto accepted Anna Maria's continued supervision of his heroic activities in exchange for his freedom. It's a fortunate development for the city, which will need all available assistance to recover from Terrax's attack. So I guess the attack of Terrax is over, and Superior Spider-Man is doing his thing, recovering in the hospital, repairing his relationship. Keaton has so far enjoyed this book. He's not a humongous fan of Superior Spider-Man, but I think that Spider-Verse especially has opened up his mind to there being more than one Spider-Man. And so being able to read the adventures of another guy with spider powers is fun. Put that over there. This book is for Blaze, Daredevil number 3 by Chip Zdarsky. I don't see where the rest of there we go. Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto doing the art. Let's read this right up here. Daredevil's wanted for murder. Detective Cole North, a tough as nails transplant from Chicago, has been tasked with bringing the kitchen's guardian devil in. Determined to prove his innocence, Daredevil visited the scene of the robbery, only to come face to face with Detective North as the department issued sidearm. So Daredevil's in trouble with the law. Blaze is enjoying this book. He's been with Daredevil for a while. He liked the Charles Seale run. And so far, he's not complained about the Zdarsky run. I'm not sure if it's living up to the previous run, but he hasn't said, hey, stop buying that book. So, he must be doing something right. Art looks clean. I like it. This book is also for Blaze. This is Alien 3 from Dark Horse Comics, based on the unproduced screenplay. These are $3.99. Daredevil is also $3.99, yeah. Let's see. This one's by William Gibson doing the story, the original story. Adaptation script and art by Johnny Christmas. Color art by Tamara Benvelian. All right. So, yeah, this is all based on the unproduced Alien 3 screenplay. And I don't know how many issues this series is going to run for. Because it seems like it's... Well, I mean, it's only issue 5, but, man, it seems like it's taking a while to finish it off. Oh, man. His leg's going. All right, I don't want to skip too far ahead in case this is, like, the final issue or something. But... yeah, interesting to do this as a comic. It's a good way to get the Alien 3 screenplay out there, the one that wasn't produced into film. Next up is for Keaton, Transformers #2 from IDW of the Bold New Era. This is the Transformers relaunch, where it kind of cuts down on all the different series that were happening and kind of gives a jumping on point for readers. I got this for Keaton, but I actually read the first issue too, and it was a nice jumping on point. It all takes place before the Autobots and the Decepticons make it to Earth. So, sorry if my camera's looking a little bright there. It all takes place before that, so it's a good jumping on point. It's all happening before anything else is really gets convoluted with history. It's written by Brian Ruckley with art by Angel Hernandez and Cachette Whitman. Now, there were 2 different stories going on in the last one. One where Rubble and Bumblebee and Windblade are on one planet, and Orion Pax, who becomes Prime, and Megatron, and all of them are on Cybertron, if I remember right. So there were 2 different artists handling it. They came upon a wrecked Autobot, if I remember right, from the last issue. I still don't really know who this Rubble guy is. I think he's like a new character. The art is nice. And the first issue was readable. I mean, it didn't feel like I was caught in the middle of something I didn't understand. So I will probably borrow this from him and read it as well. This book is for me. I'm actually caught up on books right now. I know in the last couple of videos, sorry, I gotta readjust my hand. I know in the last couple of videos I wasn't caught up, but now I'm all caught up. I've read Uncanny X-Men, I've read Invaders, I've read Marvel Comics Presents. All the books that I'm currently reading, I'm caught up on. So I'm ready for Invaders #3 this is also by Chip Zdarsky. Chip Zdarsky, artist Carlos Magno. Oh, there's no Butch Guice art in this one, I guess. So before they were doing 2 different artists. One was handling the current timeline, and Butch Guice was handling the flashbacks to the past. Because this whole storyline is based on Namor building an army to attack Earth, and the invaders are looking into their past for some kind of clues as to a way to get Namor to turn back. There's some kind of thing going on where Namor, when he was supposed to have amnesia, was hanging out with Professor X. This picture they discovered. So, Winter Soldier's been enlisted to kind of sneak around and find out some stuff, and he found out that they're building a crazy weapon. I guess this is the repercussions of what Winter Soldier found out, and them going to confront Namor once again. It's a decent book. I like it. I like getting a book where I can get Namor and Winter Soldier and Captain America in the same book, because I don't read the Cap book. The Winter Soldier book is decent, but I like having these 2 together. And Namor is a bad guy. Pretty cool. And them kind of touching on their past together. I enjoy. The last actual book for the day is Marvel Comics Presents #3. This is throwing back to the old, and this one is $4.99. Sorry, my camera is like super sunny outside, so it's tough to get this in focus. Invaders was $3.99. This is $4.99. I used to love Marvel Comics Presents as a kid. You get multiple stories in one book for the price of one book. And that's what they're doing again. So last issue continued the Wolverine story. Wolverine is the only one there that's continuing forward into each book. Last issue had like a Gorilla Man and a fantastic Reed Richards story, and they kind of jump around with timelines. So like the Reed Richards story took place in the 50s. The Wolverine one started in the 40s, and then it was 10 years later in the 50s because there's this like demon thing that comes through every 10 years. But it's not tied up with continuity. It can jump around and have these characters in different time periods. It's just stories about these characters. This time around, we've got 3 heavy hitters, though. We've got Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Captain America all in one book. The Wolverine story continues on. It's written by Charles Soule, penciler Paulo Siqueira. Now, this one, I'd say, also is in the 50s, just like the last issue, because it didn't end. Like, the story was... The thing came through... Oh, actually, 1962, so I guess it is jumping forward another 10 years or something. But it seemed like it concluded with Wolverine not able to push him back through the portal or something. The art's really nice, but I guess they are jumping forward another 10 years. So that'll be interesting to see him jump forward into like the 70s and stuff like that. Marvel Age Captain America, the Civil Rights Movement. This was written by Andrew Aden and artist Daniel Acuna. Wow, look at how broken up this is. Like the spacing between yeah, look, that's misprinted. So this is 1960 for Captain America during the Civil Rights Movement. This will be a fun read. The art's cool. All right, and then Spider-Man, First Appearance Amazing Fantasy 15. It doesn't say Heart of a Spider featuring Spider-Man, but it doesn't say what decade this is, I don't believe. So we'll just kind of flip through here. Oh, this is like when he first wrestles. Like when he first... I guess? This looks like it's maybe... Oh, this is interesting. Alright, well, I'll find out what that's all about. This is an interesting take on Moon Knight. I don't think I've ever seen Moon Knight in a suit before. Wolverine, Spider-Man, Moon Knight next issue. Alright. I'll keep going with that. The first couple were pretty good. And then last but not least is this epic collection for my dad, Sergeant Fury and his Halo Commandos. He loved this comic as a kid, and so anytime we're at conventions and stuff, he's always looking for nice reprints or cheapy originals to pick up from this book, just because it reminds him of being a kid and he remembers reading all these stories. So this epic collection, the epic collections are trade paperbacks that reprint a ton of issues. So like this one reprints, sorry, let's get into focus, 1 through 19 of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. The cost is $39.99, but the printing on this is really high quality. This isn't like those essentials where it's black and white on like tissue paper. These are really nicely reprinted books, and you get a big chunk of stories all together. Now they usually jump around with volumes they release, so they'll release like volume 2, and then they'll release volume like 17, and they'll go back and release volume 9. But this time around with Sergeant Fury, they started with volume 1. So I picked this up for him. They'll really dig it. And that is it. That's all the books this week. Man, it's a ton. Man, this camera just keeps on going out of focus because it's all this glare. Sorry about that, guys. As always, if you like our videos, click like and subscribe. Click notify. Any suggestions on comics, leave it in the comments below. Reviews coming up this week. Moon Knight, Marvel Select for sure. I'm still going to try and do those stands as well, so if you're looking for the figure reviews, those are what's coming up. Next week, I'll probably jump back and do Iron Spider, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, okay, well, I guess that's it. See you guys. Bye.